Hello, everybody. We are here on Wednesday. Um, and as you can see, I am not here, missing all of you fiercely, but we're going to be doing this lesson remotely. So today's lesson, students will be able to analyze key aspects of governance that allowed the Seljuk Turks to rule the Dar al-Islam. And there's a quick do now that you should have done when you came in and grabbed the paper from the wall. Looking back to yesterday's notes, I asked you to create a sentence using a positive for one of the three terms, the Caracol, the Mita system, or Waru Waru. And I was able to do one. Hopefully, you were able to do one too. I said the Wara Wara structure used by the Incas, that was my positive. That's why it's in a different color, helped preserve water during the dry seasons. But today we are leaving South America, going back towards the Eastern Hemisphere, and we are going to be learning about the Middle East. So we've alluded to Islam in the Middle East in other lessons, particularly when we saw it spread to South Asia or India. But we said that Islam is going to be a monotheistic religion that started in the Middle East around the year 620 or so. The Prophet Muhammad hears the word of God, writes it down in a book called the Quran, the holy cities of Mecca and Medina, crucial to the story, to the lore of Islam. And then from there, it's going to spread out of the Middle East, out of what is today Saudi Arabia. And you can see in this picture all different lands that Islam is going to spread as far east as Kabul, which is present day Afghanistan, all throughout North Africa, Jerusalem, Cairo, Tripoli, all the way to present day Morocco, and even into Europe to the Iberian Peninsula, which would be Portugal and Spain today. And you could see it threatening to encroach even further into Europe. There's a couple big battles, like the Battle of Tours. The Byzantine Empire is constantly at odds with the Arab caliphates, and we're going to see that they are really the ones guiding this region during this time period. So we've talked about different types of states, kingdoms, and empires. So kings rule kingdoms, emperors rule empires. But as far as the Middle East during this time, they are known as caliphates, and it's because caliphs rule caliphates. And there are two dynasties. That are going to be running the Middle East and North Africa during this time. The test does not focus too much on their names, but rather more on their achievements. This was meant, you can argue, probably one of the most learned parts of the world at this time. Definitely more than Europe, which we saw earlier this week, was kind of having a rough go during the Dark Ages. But if you were living at this time, the anywhere in the Dar el-Islam or the House of Islam would have been a great place to live. Medical achievements, the best doctors in the world were in Egypt at this time. The most knowledge, the Baghdad House of Wisdom in present-day Iraq, was preserving all of that classical age knowledge from the Greeks, the Romans, other ancient philosophers. Europe had lost all of their copies, whether through war or natural disasters or whatever, conquest. So the Baghdad House of Wisdom was the center of classical age knowledge. And like we've been talking about, their success is really rooted in their trade network. So the Dar al-Islam, not only is it connected to the Silk Road and its eastern boundaries, its eastern borders, but it is also utilizing the Trans-Sahara Trade Network, which is we're going to talk about it more tomorrow, but it is going throughout the Sahara Desert. And because of the arid climate, the extreme weather, we're going to see the domestication of camels be huge. So that is what they're going to be doing. And if I was teaching this class in person, I would ask you, what other beasts of burden have we seen be domesticated during this time period? I'm going to give you a moment, but you should be thinking of llamas like we talked about yesterday with South America. Now, Islam, much like other religions, does not everyone who follows a religion sees things the same way, right? We see Christianity is going to break up into Catholic and Eastern Orthodox, and we'll cover it breaking up further in a future unit. But not too long after Muhammad's death, Islam has its own schism or split, and it's really because of Muhammad's death and who people thought should succeed him as the leader of the religion, as the person who was going to guide the faith forward. People who followed his closest disciple, Abu Bakr, became known as Sunni Muslims, which today is about 90% of all Muslims in the world, where people who thought that succession should be based on bloodline and wanted his cousin Ali to rule are known as Shia or Shiite. And if you look at the map, they make up a minority, mostly in Iran, a couple other scattered places like Afghanistan, Iraq, and even down in present-day Yemen. Now, it's because of this infighting between sects of Islam, sects of Muslim, that the Arab Caliphate, those caliphates that we just talked about, start to have some problems. One, the schism didn't do them any favors. Two, they were big time slavers, not of fellow Muslims, but of non-Muslims. And the original people of Egypt, when they take over Egypt, called the Mamluks, start to revolt. So as Arab caliphates start to have a rough time, and it's in this hardship that we see another group come in called the Seljuk Turks, who are going to start to gain some strength over in the east. We're going to see them become very successful at encouraging trade. They provide stability to an unstable world at the time of this infighting. They are able to secure legitimacy, and the reading that you're going to do today on the back of your paper is going to talk more about that. And the thing to know, this word here, this big long word that you're looking at, you're like, how do I say that? Is going to be one of their keys to success. They would establish these things called caravanserais. Say it with me, caravanserais, to encourage trade. And we've seen this before, whether it's in China, whether it's the Byzantine Empire, the Incas. These most successful empires at this time are the ones that are branching out, looking for new things, trying to reach new locations and learn from their neighbors. So the Seljuk Turks are going to be today's focus. If you can flip over your notes once you're done copying everything, the two questions you're going to look to annotate for, I'll read them out loud to you guys. One, how did the Seljuk Turks' relationship with the Arab caliphs provide to their legitimacy? And two, describe the role that caravanserais in the Seljuk Empire. Describe the role of the caravanserais in the Seljuk Empire and their impact on trade and economic growth. And I'll give you guys the rest of the period to work on that reading, underlining or highlighting. Highlighters in the front of the room, you know where they're at. And don't forget your exit tickets. Be good, and I'll see you tomorrow.